Space Pilot Mr. Cool Guy here, and well, how are you, randoms? How you doing today? Feeling random? I bet you are, 'cause you clicked on this. 'Cause you're looking for some random facts, so you came to me, right? Well, don't worry. I'll give you your daily dose of random facts. And this daily dose of stuff isn't harmful, right? Because it's a daily dose of good information. Well, as always, it's time for 10 more random facts you may or may not know. Starting with fact number 1. Bark Ranger. Gracie the Border Collie is employed by Montana's Glacier National Park as a bark ranger, a dog that helps to herd goats, deer, sheep, and other wildlife away from areas where there are a lot of visitors. Oh, that's pretty neat. Right? You've heard of Park Ranger. Now get ready for Bark Ranger. Your good boy is now an official Bark Ranger. Oh, oh man, that is pretty amazing. That good boy is keeping the people safe. Yup. Although its name is Gracie, so I guess it's a good girl, right? A girl dog, not a boy dog. But you usually hear people say, "Good boy." Who's a good boy, right? But I guess it would be a good girl, so she's protecting the people, right? Alrighty. Let's move on to fact number 2. Furry Night. Meet Van Gogh, the one-eared pup that paints with his tongue, named after 19th century artist Vincent van Gogh, who also had just one ear. The Boxer Pit Bull mix has made more than 150 paintings. He did it with the help of Jacqueline Gartner, founder of Happily Forever After Rescue in Connecticut. First, a canvas is covered with blobs of paint and placed inside a plastic bag. The outside of the bag is then covered with peanut butter. Finally, Van Gogh licks the tasty treat off of the bag, smearing the paint. Et voila! Art is born. In 2023, his version of The Starry Night by the real Vincent van Gogh sold at auction for $10,000. That's a lot of money. And that's incredible. A dog that paints. And see, this selling for $10,000 sounds more reasonable to me. Why? Because it's actual art. And it was painted by a dog. I mean, he did lick peanut butter on the outside of a bag, which smeared the paint on the inside, but it was still sort of painted by a dog. So it going for $10,000 at an auction seems more reasonable and makes more sense to me than, the banana or the McDonald's pickle. This, yes, right? This is art. This is art that's, worth the price tag of $10,000 or more. Right? Alrighty. Let's move on to fact number 3. Winged warriors. Climbing teacher Hoos Habrocken of Ghent, Belgium, turns body parts from dead insects into fierce mythical warriors. Each creation uses dozens of pieces and can take who's a former taxidermist, of course, up to 40 hours to make. He gives them all their own name and special backstory. Among his favorites is Ruja the fungus farmer. Her grasshopper head is covered in hair made of bug legs. She wears a shiny green dress of dragonfly and beetle wings, and she holds a staff made from a stick insect and a beetle's thorax. Who's hopes his art shows people how beautiful nature can be. Alrighty then. That's I mean, I'm sure there are those who would find it beautiful. I'm not saying that I don't, but I don't think my first choice would be the parts of dead bugs. But I mean, art can technically be made from anything. I mean, it's just how you use it to make the art, right? But yeah, that's something. Ugh. Alrighty, let's move on to fact number 4. Soda stash. A bear broke into a car in British Columbia, Canada, and drank 69 cans of soda that Sharon Rosal was storing in her car overnight. There were 72 cans in total, and the bear only left behind diet flavors. That bear has taste. That, yeah. The bear ain't drinking the diet sodas, maybe you shouldn't either. And maybe you should lock your car so the bear, and keep your windows up so the bear can't get in. But I mean, let's get to the important issue here. The other important issue. Why were you storing 72 cans of soda in your car overnight? Why? Why did you even have 72 cans in your car? Like, what? Was your refrigerator broke and it was just happened to be cold enough outside or something where you could leave it in your car to keep it cold? If that's the case, why just the soda cans? Why not other food that would have been in your fridge that could have needed the coldness that was outside? Right? Why just specifically 72 cans? Why were they even in your car at all, sitting there overnight? There is no way you would have forgotten that there was 72 cans of soda in your car. How? Why? And if your door was locked and your window was raised up, that means the bear broke into your car to get them. Maybe if you hadn't left them in your car, the bear would have never had a reason to break into your car. It's not like it's gonna drive off. It doesn't know how to drive. That's just... Do not leave food out where bears can get to it. Alrighty. let's move on to fact number 5. Stubborn swan. A swan tried to take a ride atop a bus in Reading, England. When the swan refused to move from the roof of the bus, the passengers had to get off and the service was cancelled. Dang, that is crazy. A swan was responsible for the canceling of a bus service. Right, it couldn't even take its routes because of a swan. And those swan are not, friendly, right? I mean, geese sure aren't either. But yeah, you don't want to get close to one. They're not like most birds, where you could have it as a pet, and you use the bird glove, and they can sit on your arm and not hurt it, right? They can attack. They will. They don't care about you. They don't fear you. They're gonna come at you with all the bravery in them. You're just another thing in their way. Right? Yeah. So be careful around them. Alrighty. Let's move on to fact number 6. Forbidden flush. Ollie, a black Labrador, was rescued after falling 10 feet or 3 meters into a sewer behind his owner's home in Hampshire, England. Fire crews asked neighbors not to flush their toilets during the rescue operation. Yeah, that's smart. You wouldn't want to, get that flushed toilet water, whatever's in it, on the dog. Right? That just wouldn't be nice on the dog. But, so, how did the dog fall in? Like, did someone forget to put a manhole cover back on, or is there just some hole in the ground that leads to a sewer that was not covered up? Right? Because the dog wouldn't on purpose go into the hole. Right? It's more than likely that it accidentally fell in. So this is more on, someone forgetting to plug the hole up, covering it up to ensure nothing or no one fell in. Right? That's crazy, but at least, Ollie was able to be rescued. I'm sure he didn't smell very good because it's a sewer, but, at least they were able to save him. Alrighty, let's move on to fact number 7. Super sneeze. Sea sponges sneeze to clear their pores of particles. They do this by contracting their bodies. Each sneeze can last up to 50 minutes. That's a long time for a sneeze. 50 minutes? Dang. That is wild. I mean, that's either it just takes 50 minutes to dislodge the particles, or there's just a whole lot of particles inside the pores, or that collect up in the pores, right? I mean, if a human were sneezing for a total of 20 minutes, right, that they need to go to the doctor, because your sneeze shouldn't last 50 minutes. I mean, if your sneeze is that long, you're liable to sneeze up a lung or something. I mean, you've heard the expression hacking up a lung, and it's possible, to cough up a lung if you're not careful. But, I guess you could sneeze up a lung. Potentially. I mean, you'd probably rupture something in your nose before that happened if your sneeze was lasting 50 minutes, though, so. Yeah. That's. Oof. Alrighty, let's move on to fact number 8. Snakes swim. 5-year-old Bo Blake was dragged into a swimming pool at his family home by a 10-foot long or 3-meter python. Bo was playing in his garden when the python emerged from the undergrowth, bit him, and pulled him underwater with its body coiled around one of his legs. Bo's grandfather dove into the pool and pulled the boy and the snake out. Then Bo's dad managed to pry him from the snake's deadly grip, allowing Bo to escape with minor injuries. That's... wow. That'd have been scary for Bo. I mean, obviously the grandfather and dad, this is why you need to be careful when you're outside. The fact that it snuck through the undergrowth most likely means the grass hadn't been cut. So if it's tall enough for a snake to hide in, maybe you don't have your kid play in it. Or, be very careful. Thankfully there was adult supervision, but if your grass has gotten to the point where a snake can hide in it, I think that's your signal to cut your grass. Do not leave a home for snakes. Do not leave a place where snakes can sneak up on you and bite you. Sure, some snakes are harmless, but some snakes are venomous. And you gotta be very careful. And always know where your child is. Because you never know what can happen. It's just because your child is out there and is, being all safe while playing, knowing of the dangers, that doesn't mean something can't happen. Not that there's always gonna be something bad that happens, but you just gotta be careful. Okay? Be careful. Alrighty, it's time for fact number 9. Rad Ride. Chris Kyle took BMX to new heights by riding his bike in a skate park, soaring 2,000 feet or 609 meters above the ground, for a stunt Kyle called "Don't Look Down." He did bike tricks in a skate park while hanging from a hot air balloon. The unprecedented feat took place over Cotswolds in Wiltshire, England. Don't worry, Kyle wore a parachute to be safe. Other considerations had to be made as well. The skate park was made of carbon fiber in order to be light enough to be carried by the balloon. The weather also had to be perfect, forcing Kyle to wait an entire year to ride. Dang. That is crazy. Doing bike stunts 2,000 feet in the air. That's pretty wild, and that'll really get your adrenaline pumping for sure. And, it's a good thing he's a professional, right? Because that could go very bad if he, had failed, if something went wrong and he fell off. That could have been very bad. Right? Because when you're doing these types of stunts, and you're doing it in extreme conditions, you got to be a professional. Because it is very dangerous. Right? We all know what happened with Evel Knievel. Right? Evel Knievel tried to cross the Grand Canyon. Right? Jumped the gorge of the Grand Canyon. But yeah. The weather had to be perfect. Which, it makes sense, right? But man, a carbon fiber skate park. It's an interesting material choice. Alrighty. Let's move on to fact number 10. Swift skip. Gabenga Ezekiel, a 16-year-old student at Ijapo High School in Nigeria, skipped rope 265 times on one leg in just a minute. That's pretty fast rope skipping. Now, did he have one leg suspended in the air while he used the other leg to skip rope? Or did he only have just one leg, as in he didn't have two legs attached to him? He had lost the other leg at some point or something. You know what I mean. But either way, it's impressive. I mean, that takes some skill. It does. Skipping rope with two legs is not exactly easy to do. I mean, it can become easy, but doing it with one leg? Keeping your balance, just standing on one leg, right? Because you can't use your hands to support yourself. They're going to be holding the ends of the rope that you're using to do rope skipping. So, yeah, that does require quite the balance, especially when you're landing back down on the one leg. You're not landing down on two legs. No, he's landing down on one leg. That. Shooey. Alrighty. Well, there you have it. There was 10 random facts you may or may not have known, but you know now. Were there any that you knew? If so, let me know down below, Joe. There was any that you knew? Oh, there's any that you have additional... Boy, oh boy, words are hard sometimes, aren't they? Wow. If there's any additional information on the facts you'd like to share, then, put that down below if you find that additional information interesting. Other people might find it interesting. I'm sure I might. If you're having trouble with words, like I was, and, all you can think to say of is hi, well, hi! And if you enjoyed, leave a like. And, if you don't want to constantly have to go searching for my channel to check and see if there's a new batch of random facts, because let's be honest, it's a pain to have to do that, especially if you have so many different search terms that you've searched. Just subscribe. It'll appear in your subscriptions feed, much easier to check. And to make it even easier than that, you can hit the notification bell, because it'll ding you the second a new batch of random facts have been put out for you to listen to. Right? That's right, YouTube will tell you that a new batch of facts are ready. You don't have to guess when they're gonna come out. You'll be told. Right? And make sure to share this with others. Don't be a facts hog. Don't keep them to yourself. Let other people have the chance to hear. They might find these interesting, but they won't get to know if you don't tell them that there's a new batch of facts. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Well, anyways, I'm Space Pilot Mr. Cool Guy. And as I always say, my fellow randoms, to infinity and more facts.
Fascinating. Your sea sponges sneeze longer than some of you can hold a conversation. Just subscribe. The cosmos could use the laugh.